of its biggest advantages is that you can transition from Java to Scala like gradually, because you can still use Java libraries. You can revert back to a more imperative style. It doesn't force you to write only functional code. So probably that's the reason why it's possible to create quite a big of a mess in Scala if you don't quite know what you're doing, because you can mix like imperative style with functional style and everything what you want like in the same code base, and then it becomes hard to follow. So for example, in Haskell, you're forced to use only functional constructs, and then it's not possible to do like a mixture of imperative and functional like in Scala. But that's also one of its advantages. So if you really know what you're doing, transition's easier, and if you know what you're doing, you can actually make some things more efficient, or you can interact with existing Java libraries in a better way. So it's quite a practical language, but I would probably say it's more advanced than like a purely functional language, because it's not purely functional. It's a multi-paradigm language. It supports object-oriented programming, functional programming. So if you want, you can write fully object-oriented programs in Scala. Nothing prevents you from that. Or you can write fully functional programs, or something in between.
I was going to say, which do you prefer?
Yeah, well, so at other levels, we've been using a kind of simplified functional programming approach, so not to make the transition too hard for new Java developers, because it can be overwhelming. But for example, at my current company, Schedulo, they on the far end of the spectrum at the functional programming end,
which Scala, so more purist.
It's a more purist kind of approach. Yes, so which I find challenging. Even after having used Scala for 3.5 years, I haven't really went that far into the functional direction. So it takes a bit of getting used to. But I can see the benefits. But it just. I guess if the whole team decides that it's worth it, to go into that direction, and everybody spends the time, to get familiar with all these things and spends time to learn it, then it's worth it. But it requires quite a big initial investment, which pays off.
From you as a person, or from the organization?
Well, I mean, time and energy investment from the developers to get up to speed. But it's the same with any kind of programming, but the difference is it's not really taught at universities. So like people get taught, I don't know, like object-oriented programming, and they kind of know it when they start in the first job. And nowadays, when for example, if you hire, I don't know, a few people who are experienced with Java, it takes effort to move from that mindset to the more functional programming mindset, because they don't really learn at the university.
Yeah.
So and usually people who've been who are already like, I don't know, who have been working for like 10 years, like working with Java like me, usually then you have to spend company time to get up to speed, because you can't really expect people to spend, I don't know, hundreds of hours in their free time to do that. So I guess the companies say, all right, it's not.
But you'd already done some on your own.
Yeah, I've done, but I guess if you want to convert a whole team of developers, you can't expect everybody to do it in their spare time, and I think that's why some companies say, all right, it's not worth it to us to convert all these Java people to like functional programming experts, I'm guessing.
And whether it appeals to everyone who's a Java, because functional programming, I guess, isn't for everybody.
I would say. Well, it's an interesting question. So you certainly cannot adopt it to every situation, but I think to the problems that most people are trying to solve, like as developers, like I don't know, like most mainstream development jobs probably would benefit from functional programming.
Okay.
So I think there are some specialized areas like I don't know, like game development and computer graphics, which are a bit more. So basically areas which are very much performance oriented. Then probably you can write a more performant code just using the standard low-level approach. So if you want something to get really, really fast, no matter the costs, then usually the imperative code is faster, but it's harder to maintain. It's easier to make mistakes and so on. So that's why I'm saying, like, in most programming jobs, like ultimate speed is not the most important factor, but more like maintainability and to be able to reason about the code and to understand it and so on. So like clean code, basically like if clean code is more important than the ultimate performance, then functional programming